This is something which I don't think I will ever understand, or I guess more correctly, agree with. I was working with somebody yesterday, one-on-one private, and trying to get this guy prepped up for his upcoming fight. Basically, he's going, I want to have my first fight ever, and I want to see if you think, he wants to see if I think that I'm ready for him to compete. So he came in, we were doing the work, I was asking him some questions. I said, how much at your gym are you working on defense? And he said, we don't work on defense. And I'm just going, oh my gosh. Like, yes, I understand that you get defense training when you do your sparring, but outside of that, to not work defense, in my mind, is so negligent. We're gonna talk about that today. First off, you might be going, oh, my gym won't touch on defense. I've asked, or I'm too scared to request it. It's just not gonna happen. I know it. Should I find a new gym? Not necessarily, because super excited to announce that my course, my defense course, is now available for pre-sale. You can get the early bird pricing. The course is going to launch officially on March 25th. And from there, we're gonna have pre-recorded episodes that you can watch for a week, and then there'll be a live where we can touch on everything that you just learned. Then we're gonna do more pre-recorded sessions and then another live, so on and so forth, over 5 full weeks. This is gonna cover everything from how do you do the little individual blocks to how you can drill with a partner, things that you can do at home to improve your defense. Let's be real, everybody. Defense is so important. It is half of fighting. 50% offense, 50% defense. If you're not getting your training at your gym, this course is perfect for you. And I'm so excited to be able to share with everybody what I have learned throughout decades and things that have allowed me to win these belts. You can click down in the link in the description below and you can get yourself pre-registered there. So defense. When I stop and I go, okay, somebody wants to have their first fight, there are 3 main things that I go, you have to have down if you're gonna get my blessing to go and fight, whether it's one of my students or just somebody who comes in for a private and they want my advice. Am I ready? 3 things. Number 1, you have to have the offense power to hurt somebody. If you do not have enough power to hurt somebody, the opponent will not respect you and it's going to be a long, rough night. So right away I gauge power. Is it enough to hurt somebody? Number 2, are you going to train hard enough to get the cardio to go the full fight? Because if you cannot go the full fight, then you're gonna drown and not gonna have enough energy and you could get KO'd just simply because you cannot keep up the pace. And number 3, and what we're talking about today, you have to have the ability to defend yourself. If I start throwing at somebody and I go, oh, they don't know what they're doing defense-wise, I'm not gonna tell them they are ready to fight. Now, as we already talked about, often in gyms, defense is not worked a lot. Yes, we do defense when we spar, and occasionally when somebody's holding pads, they'll swing at us. But I am talking about setting up in front of a partner. The coach has everybody lined up and he's counting out. He's like, okay, I want partner number 1 to throw a left hook, partner number 2 to block it. And you're just dialing in block, 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 getting it down perfect. Or maybe it's body, head, and you're practicing block, 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 block. What I was just watching the other day, just for fun in my spare time, was a show called Spartacus. If you like action, you like a lot of blood in that, then you will like this show. A lot of gladiators training. I like the training part where you see them with their wooden swords. They're in this big sandy pit and they're getting ready to go to the Colosseum. But in the training, you see how much emphasis is done on defense. It's not just guys taking their swords and just hit, 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 hit. It's offense and defense. And it's funny that nowadays, in what would be essentially the gladiator sport, this is just combat sports in a different era, how we do not train defense. So yes, I think it is negligent of coaches to not just have people lined up and be like, okay, we're just doing low kicks. Check. Check. Yeah, you could go check and then into your counter, so you're getting good at that too, but really dialing in the specifics of defense. It's so important. And we're going to cover all of that in the course, which I already mentioned. And a big part of defense is you figuring out what works specifically for your style. Keep in mind, there are so many different forms of defense, right? Somebody throws a jab at you. How do you know what you want to do? Maybe you've been taught to turtle shell. You're just like, oh, shell it up, shell it up, shell it up, and you're doing it, and it seems to be working, but nobody's taught you that you can parry, or elbow block, or catch with your palm, or slip to the side, or evade backwards. If you're not aware of these and you never try them, you're not going to have your full potential when it comes to defense. And that is so important as well. So still, even though I understand why we're not doing it, and the coaches are not going, okay, we should prioritize this, very simply, they're not doing it because it's not sexy. It's not as fun. When people come in for training and they're just somebody who wants fitness, they're going to go, yeah, we're better off having them hit things. It's so much more fun than doing that. But why do you want to learn to do everything halfway? Half of this sport is defense. If you ever have to defend yourself on the street, wouldn't you feel silly if you just spent 2 or 3 years learning to throw punches, but never blocking it? And then all of a sudden somebody attacks you and you're like, oh, shoot, I don't know what to do. And that's the problem with many martial arts. There are many people who get their black belts in Taekwondo or karate and couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag because they've never really done things that are important. And defense with somebody really trying to hit you is very important. So that is my rant for today. Hopefully you guys agree with me. Hopefully you're going to take the time to work that defense. You can very simply grab somebody and just start doing some drilling back and forward. You can do some solo training, although it is a little harder without knowing what solo training to do, but we'll cover that in my course. And just overall, take the time, prioritize the defense. At least 25% of your training should be the defense, and you will feel the improvement, the confidence will rise. Let's call it there, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. As always, train hard, and I will see you back here soon for another video.